Once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was a billy of tea. The winds blew up her bow, dipped down below, my billy boys blow. Soon may the weatherman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Hello, it's Soul, and welcome back to Warcraft Weekly, the show that made a bet that if a 9.1 announcement was made this week, that I would shave off all of this that convinces people that I'm an actual adult, and, well, it's still here. But anyway, a grateful hello to the Brutosaur party over on Twitch, who continues to keep the dream alive, and to our beloved patrons like Bill, welcome back, glad to have you, and now, let's get this bitch started, yeah! So, this week those of us on the front line of content have finally been able to complete the Covenant campaign storylines to great satisfaction and relief. Because before you stand our champions, kitted in their full Covenant set, even though it's reasonably easy to outgear it, but it'll be great for alts. We sit atop our awesome mounts, one of I think dozens that we've gotten since the expansion's launch. Well, you know, at least my Crest of Ascension thing got to grow horns or wings or whatever they are. We got our third Soulbind, which is more significant, I guess. Now we get to see this cruel reality set in as players burn through conduit energy from swapping out between every raid fight. And hey, now Druid players can use all 4 specializations and they can finally get to play. Well, that was hyperbole that we were talking about? And rage bait? Oh, it's still coming. Okay, well, we'll patiently wait. We also got to spice things up just a bit with what I'm going to call the Torghast brawls, starting with the Beast of Prodigum. And I'm gonna make this quick. It'd be cooler if it came with some achievements or something to, you know, nudge us into trying it out, but regardless, I'm okay with what's basically a rotating anima power theme of sorts. Next week, there won't be any new quests, none that we know of at least, but at least we can still look forward to renowned rewards, and another round of time walking is on its way. We'll be 9 weeks into Shadowlands, and still the content drip continues. So how's that going so far? We're going to take a closer look at that today and give reactions that are almost entirely mine, because I'm just going to come out and say it. I like it this way. Okay, not exactly this way, but the directions that Shadowlands is going with pacing content is a way that has been working out pretty well. There are a lot of moving parts in Shadowlands, some of which act independently, like anima rewards, rated PvP, Torghast, and the Maw, but almost all of Shadowlands systems and rewards are dictated by the thick, throbbing pillar that is renown, which up to this point has been going up in increments of 3 each week, and starting next week, it's all but confirmed to drop down to 2. We're still waiting on it to unlock the few remaining rows on our Soulbinds and World Quest rewards. One of the more visible examples of what's made Renown kinda cool is a little similar to how we've enjoyed TV shows that air a new episode every week. Some of us enjoy binging on Netflix, I get it, but I also think it's cool when we, as a collective audience, get to share the moment together and have some time to digest, talk smack, while standing next to our pandemic-themed water coolers and such before the next episode. Comparing this to spaced out questlines from previous expansions, the Covenant campaign has some real teeth, with complete chapter stories, voiceovers, cutscenes, and the before-mentioned gear set. Remember how patch 7.1 went? I think it was 7.1 or was it 7.2? God, it was 7.2. Remember how that went with the Legionfall campaign? Comically short quest lines and single tasks spread across 12 weeks? I think it's safe to say that lessons were learned. But the steady rollout of content has proven to be a bit jarring too. Consider the mission table and how Nightfey missions are far easier because of the disposable troops that they've had from the start. Meanwhile, Kyrian finally got a strong defensive follower this week, and now the level grinding begins anew. A few of the Covenant campaign chapters take place in a timeline where we have or have not defeated Sire Denathrius yet, which is in both ways, well, sort of confusing. Also debatable is the agency that we have at crafting legendaries. I've read numerous posts on forums and Twitter complaining that the farm takes too long and that we can't, I guess, try out legendaries before investing our hard-earned ash into crafting them. I sort of get what they're trying to ask for, but that's also like saying I want to try out this set bonus or this trinket or this secondary stat build before putting in the actual work to obtain it. It's like, I don't know, is taking a risk an anti-gamer thing all of a sudden? Are we trying to save scum in MMO? But there are two champions of today's Shadowlands discourse that stand side by side. On one side, gearing from raids and Mythic Plus feels too slow, especially because gearing through PvP is faster and more efficient. That's an easy one. It's hard to argue with. It doesn't feel so great when I release a guide that starts off by saying, go do PvP, it's by and far the easiest and fastest way to go. So to Blizzard I say this, just set up some variant of a PvE vendor, use something like Valor Points, swallow your pride, deal with the people who are beating themselves off to how right they were, and then collect money. The other major complaint is what I've been warning people, or at least some people, about for months and months, that if you don't like being held back, if the very uttering of the word Timegating makes you see red, you're gonna feel bored. There's no infinite grind like artifact power in Shadowlands, which is great, but the actual grinding things in Shadowlands, which is anima, this has almost nothing to do with player power outside of upgrading this Covenant set, which is a one and done deal. Stripping the routine down to the bare minimum, this is what you do. You do your weeklies for renown, you get that ash, and then you're free to work at the content that you actually want to run. Raids, PvP, dungeons, and then when that's done to your satisfaction, you're free to run alts, or maintain a healthy WoW/not WoW balance. But these critics don't see it that way. They see the fewer loot drops for sure, I see it too, but I also think of this as I still see it as withdrawal from the trash sorting that was the Titanforged era. I'm scared to open the chest because I'm going to be sad.
You're not grabbing the orbs before.
Anima.
A lot of work for 35 anima.
I got a
belt.
conduit.
Yeah! Worth it. These critics want the campaign done weeks ago. They want their renown maxed, be fully kitted out from grinding Mythic Plus, and then in quick succession, best in slot achieved. A full armament of legendaries and everything else in between, all to achieve that state that they don't want to be in, but also they can't wait to be in: boredom, with nothing left to do before the next content patch. So I'm going to do a thought experiment, and I want you to join me. It might be the start of a series of game design related videos that I'm going to call What If, where we explore the theoretical design decisions and we skip the debate part of it, and instead we go right to the consequences of said decision. In this example, we ask, what if nearly all of the time gating in Shadowlands was not a thing? This is just a sample, and we'll see how it goes. And go. Hey, it's Soul, and this is your guide to efficiently navigating your way through the start of Shadowlands, which launches in just a few weeks. We're going to direct your grinding so you don't get lost. PvP is like the whack-ass tier of gearing up. Your best bet is to complete the Covenant campaign immediately after hitting 60, so you can get a really sweet 8-piece set with which to crush the week. It should only take you a few hours to do. This way you can almost completely skip unrated PvP, Mythic Zero dungeons, and Raid Finder for gear. A little bit of anima investment will go a long way. The best way to farm renown and some anima, just farm heroic dungeons. That's going to score you renown fast enough to fully unlock all your soul binds and followers in just a couple of hours. It's going to take a while, yes, but you can do this in one sitting. Saving 250 souls in the Maw will have you set for the entire season, if and when you want to upgrade your Covenant Sanctum. Okay, so rares in the Maw, they're lucrative and they can drop some extra goodies, but hyperspawn farming is the way to go. So you can have max conduits in your first week and spare socket upgrades once you get gear that you actually want to upgrade. It sounds like a lot, I know, but 12 times. You only need to farm the Fractured Chambers in Torghast 12 times for your first rank 4 legendary, and then afterwards 5 times for each and every other legendary. I know having 15 followers all of a sudden is kind of a drag, so it really is going to be up to you if you want to have a few super strong ones at once and then power level them, but here's the best ones to consider working on first. And now that everything's maxed out, that takes care of week 1 of Shadowlands. Hey, it's Soul, and this is your guide to week 2 of Shadowlands. Just kidding, this video is just to let you know that I'm on Twitch right now for some anima farming parties, so let's freaking go. So that's a rough example, but I wanted to illustrate just a glimpse of what Shadowlands would be like without most of the time gating. I'll be clear that that sort of design doesn't really excite me, but I don't represent everyone or anyone to any great degree. Some of you folks sitting there on the thing or whatever would love that sort of freedom. Now let's lay down some facts and figures. Renown will reach its maximum cap of 40 on the week of March 16th, assuming that going forward, Renown will go up by a factor of 2 each week. It really does take 250 of those redeemed souls to max out the Covenant Sanctum, and after that, the weekly quest to save souls will mean pretty much nothing. For those of us who've been playing since day 1, that goal will be reached no sooner than March 30th. So after that date, anyone who jumps into Shadowlands or makes an alt will have an experience that's it bears some similarity to the one that I just made up, 4 months after launch. But now let's play Armchair Designer. Why should they be able to catch up so quickly and easily while we have been slaving away, giving Actablers that precious subscriber money? My guess is that there's a point where the value of letting people easily catch up to play with friends is greater than the build-up that you and I play through. In other words, it's a reach to different audiences. Folks like you and I who've been playing since day 1, we want to be here and engaged nearly every day. And those who come later are people who are no less interested in playing now that they're here, but don't want to not just feel behind, but really be behind. BB. Anyway, that's the show. As of this recording, there is still no official word on patch 9.1, unless I immediately cut to a clip of me shaving and I quickly wrap this video up. Okay. I stand by my theory that as soon as the PTR is up, it'll be approximately 3 months before the start of the next patch or season. Streamer, YouTuber, and Adonis Mr. GM has been on the watch, pointing out activity in Blizzard's network that they're preparing for something, and that it's going to happen in the future. Riveting. Some have said that this prolonged drip of content is an indicator that this current season will be that much longer, and even its announcement will come no sooner than BlizzConline, which is over a month from now. That's very possible, and as we've learned from Shadowlands' delay, more time helps. But how much more time? We'll just have to see, and we'll find out together if you let me. So how about you hit that subscribe button for more of this and all things Warcraft, eh? How about liking the video because you're already a great person, but a click would make you all the more greater. Join me over on Twitch and drop a line or make me do squats, I don't know, that could be fun, but otherwise I will see you later for more content and updates and, of course, the etceteras. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.
The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the weatherman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.